Hi, it's Mother Gothel here. With Rapunzel in her tower, locked away, safe and sound. She's always reading books. Me and her, we always share stories because I'm the only human contact she gets, because I try and keep her safe from the outside world. In fact, she's left her book with me today. Would you like to hear a story? Let's see which one I fancy reading. Yes, that's a good one. Linda Lou and her golden gift. If you're sitting comfortably, we can begin. When Linda Lou was born, her mother and father were surprised. Her aunt fainted, the cat's whiskers fell off. For curled in each Linda Lou's little fists were two strange and beautiful things. In her right hand lay a golden hammer. In her left hand laid a golden nail. Linda Lou was a quiet baby. She smiled when her mother filled her cradle with teddies and ducks and woolly things, but she didn't play with them. Linda Lou played only with the little golden hammer and the tiny golden nail. When a year had passed, Linda Lou said her first words. "Wood," she said, clear as a bell. "Wood?" said her mother, puzzled, but off she went to the timber yard that lay at the edge of the forest. She chose for her daughter a piece from each and every kind of wood that she found there. When another year had passed, Linda said more words. "More wood," she said, clear as a bell. "More wood," she said the mother. "Yes," said Linda Lou, "I want a piece of rosewood for its pearl heart, a piece of sassafras for its tiger stripes, and a piece of satinwood because it is fine and golden as my little hammer." "But what are you going to make?" asked her mother. "Something," said Linda Lou, and smiled. Linda Lou was no longer a quiet baby. She hammered and sang and hammered. At the end of the first week, she'd made a box. The box was the size of a duck's egg and just as smooth. Its corners were rounded as cheeks, and the satinwood glowed and rippled like the sun on the water. "She's really very good," said her mother, looking closely. "She's really very loud," said her father, blocking his ears. While Linda Lou worked, someone was looking over her shoulder. His name was Arastan, and he came from a long line of magic spiders. Swinging there on the wall, he shone like a dab of butter, for he was as golden as Linda's little hammer and nail. "What will I put in the box?" Linda would ask herself each day. "Secrets," Arastan would whisper. Linda liked making boxes, and she liked having Arastan as company. Soon she was singing and hammering so loudly that her parents couldn't sleep. Her mother brought a set of earplugs. Her father wore a pillow around his head. "For mercy's sake, get rid of the golden hammer," shouted her aunt when she came to visit. But how could they take away the golden gifts that came into the world with Linda Lou? By the end of the third week, Linda Lou had made another 2 boxes. They were perfect, like the first one, but different. One was made from sassafras for its tiger stripes, and another was made from rosewood for its purple heart. Linda Lou was pleased with the boxes. She'd lined them up on the floor next to her bed, so that she could look at them before she fell asleep. That night, Linda dreamed of the house in the trees. It was shaped like a boat, moored between two branches. Linda Lou stood at the window, steering her boathouse into the ocean of sky. Now I'll sail past the stars at night and hammer and sing amongst the trees by day, she said in her dreams. When Linda Lou awoke the next morning, she bent down to look at her boxes. She picked up the first one and opened it. Inside, she found tiny golden tools. There was a saw for cutting wood, a clamp for holding wood in place, and a plane to smooth its edges. As she took out the piece, it began to shine and hum and grow until it was just the right size for her hand. In the second box, she found some small pieces of wood. The one she knew, and new kinds, ebony and silk oak and cheddar. As she began to take them out, each piece began to shine and hum and grow until the whole room was filled with wood. In the third box, Linda Lou found a piece of paper rolled up and tied with a golden thread. Inside was a Rastan. He was moving quickly across the page, leaving a trail of fine, spidery lines. When he had finished and Linda Lou saw what he had made, she laughed with joy. There, on the page, was a plan of the house in her dream. No one saw Linda Lou or Rastan for a whole week. Her parents found a note tacked to a door, away on business. The house was very quiet without Linda Lou. Her mother took her earplugs off. Her father left his pillow on the bed. Even the cat whiskers began to grow back. You can hear a pin drop without Linda Lou, said her mother. Who wants to hear a pin drop, said her father. And off they went to find Linda Lou. Through the forest they walked, searching and calling until they came to the timber yard. Have you seen a little girl pass this way? They asked the man chopping wood. Yes, he said. She's heading for the forest on the other side. On they hurried now along the twisting paths of the forest, calling, Linda Lou, Linda Lou. As they ran, aunts and uncles, cousins and friends came to join them. They drew near to a stream, and a sound of singing and hammering filled the air. That's my girl, cried her father, and they searched the long grass and between the rocks, but still they couldn't find Linda Lou. Then a shout came down from the treetops. Up here, called a voice, and there between the branches of the maple tree perched the most magnificent house anyone had ever seen. And in the doorway, smiling at them all, was Linda Lou. Come in, she called. So up the rope stairs went her mother and father. Up climbed her aunt and uncle, her friends, and the wood chopper. Last of all came the cat. Welcome to my new home, she said. Here I can hammer and sing all day and sail past the stars at night. She looked over at a Rastan swinging there on the wall. Tonight we're going to Kathmandu. Would anyone like to come? We would, cried her mother. I would like to, said the woodchopper. How do we get there? Asked her aunt. Simple, replied Linda Lou. Do you see the steering wheel and the lever over there? When I push the lever, the house rises up into the clouds, and this is how I steer. Are there any tigers in Kathmandu? Asked the woodchopper nervously. But only the cat was listening. Everyone hurried home to fetch their pyjamas and toothbrush, and Linda Lou opened her guide to Kathmandu. That evening, as the sun was setting, the birds in the forest saw a strange sight. A beautiful wooden house rose above the treetops and went sailing past. It was filled with smiling people and its startled cat, all waving from the windows, and a ripple of the happy voices drifted back as the house became a tiny speck in the distance. The end. So I hope you enjoyed reading that book with me today. That's one of Rapunzel's favourite stories, and she's always reading it to me, so I wanted to share that with you today. And that's all from me. But remember, before I go, Mother knows best. Bye.